Now from the Latin city envoys came, shaded with olive branches, asking grace. They beg Aeneas for the bodies scattered by sword across the plain, to bury them in mounds of earth. One cannot war, they plead, against the dead or the defeated. Let him spare men who once had welcomed him, the kinsmen of his own bride-to-be. And good Aeneas, to those who ask what cannot be denied, replies with kindness, and he adds these words: Latins, what shameful fate so tangled you in such a war that now you fly from us who are your friends? You seek peace for the dead and those cut down beneath the chance of battle, but I would give that to the living too. I should not be here if the fates had not made this my home and place. I do not war against your nation, but your king abandoned our friendship. He preferred to trust himself to Turnus' sword. It would have been more just had Turnus risked the death that took your comrades. If he intends to end this war by force, to drive the Trojans out, why then he should have faced me here with arms. One of us would have lived, that one to whom the gods, or else his own right hand, had given life. Now go, light fires beneath your luckless countrymen. So said Aeneas, and they stood amazed and silent, searching out each other's eyes. But then the aged Drances, one who hated young Turnus with a festering bitterness, replies, O Trojan, great in glory, but far greater still in battle, how can my words praise you, heaven high? Shall I admire your justice first, or else your work in war? But grateful, we shall carry what you have said back to our native city, and if fortune helps us, then we shall join you to Latinus. Let Turnus seek out treaties for himself, and more, we even shall be glad to raise your massive walls decreed by fate, to carry the stones of Ilium upon our shoulders. All murmured their assent as with one voice. They settled on a truce of twice 6 days, and with that peace between them, Teucrians and Latins roamed together safe across the mountain forests. Tall ash trees ring out beneath the pounding of the two-edged axe. Pines high as stars are toppled, wedges split without a stop, the oak and scented cedar, the hauling wagons groan with funeral timbers. Now rumor, first to tell of such a sorrow, races to King Evander, filling all his house and city. She who just before had told of Pallas' triumphs in the war. As was their ancient custom, the Arcadians snatch up their funeral firebrands and rush beyond the city gates. The roadway gleams with a long line of flames that on each side light up the fields. As they approach, the Phrygian troops join the mourning crowd, and when the matrons can see them drawing near their homes, their wailing sets fire to that sad city. But no one can keep Evander back. He hurries on into the middle of the throng. The bier set down, he falls on Pallas, clinging and weeping and keening. He can hardly force a passage through his sorrow for his voice. O Pallas, this was not the pledge you gave your father, to commit yourself with more caution to cruel Mars. I might have known how much new fame and arms can do, how very sweet is the glory of the first encounter. O sad first fruits of youth, harsh rudiments of war, that was so near. No god would hear my vows and prayers, and you, most holy wife, were happy in your death, and not spared for this pain. But I, in living, have undone the fate of fathers. I survive my son. Would I had joined the troops of Troy, had been crushed by the Latin shafts. I would have given my life. This pomp would then bring me, not Pallas, home. But I cannot blame you, Trojans, or our treaties, or the right hands we have joined in friendship, for this was the chance assigned to my old age. But if untimely death was waiting for my son, then I am glad he fell while leading on the Teucrians to Latium, and only after he had cut down thousands of the Volscians' army. No, Pallas, I could never honor you with greater funerals than have the pious Aeneas and the mighty Phrygians and the Tuscan chieftains, all the Tuscan squadrons. They carry splendid trophies, those who took their death from you. You, Turnus, also would have stood now as a giant trunk in arms, had you been of the same age as my son, had his same force of years. But why do I, unhappy, keep the Teucrians from battle? Go, and be sure to give your king this message, that if I drag along my hated life, though Pallas now is dead, it is because of your right hand, which, as you see, still owes Turnus to father and to son. This is the only thing that still is left undone by your own worth and fortune. I do not implore this joy of you for my own life, that would be wrong, but that I may yet carry these tidings to my son in the deep shades.